Looks like it's been sitting a while. What do you say we bring it back into the garage and see if we can bring it back to life? Yeah, that might be an issue. Well, it doesn't exactly fit on the lift. I roll it forward and it kind of rolls back off the back two tires. Don't make it up the ramp. But here, go do a little walk around and kind of give you a looky-loo of what it is and what it was grafted together from. It started out as a Suzuki, wasn't a King Quad. I think it was right before the King Quad came out. ATV four-wheel drive that was wrecked. And I picked it up for $100 at I think it was a yard sale. You see the engine's all towards the rear of it. And I cut it, stretched it, put I think a little over 2 feet in the center of it. You can see where it's been stretched out, and there the dry shaft's been lengthened for the front. It's got a tractor, garden tractor front hood, and then on the back is a wheel horse utility trailer that went behind a riding lawnmower, and that turned into a hydraulic dump trailer. And then the fenders are off of a burned up Kubota. And whatever junk else is laying around to kind of put it all together. See a bunch of riding nets on it, and as it says, it's got a hydraulic dump bed for the back. We'll try to get that up in a little bit. The lever for reverse is right here. All the cables used to go to the handlebars, and then you stretched it, you lost all that. It's got a 3-speed sub transmission, so it's got low, medium, and high range right there. And the front differential you can put into two-wheel drive, open different two-wheel drive, full drive, and the full drive lock by locking the front differential. And that gives it 15 speeds forward and 3 reverse. So it gives it a very large window. And it'll do 40, 45 miles an hour. A little scary, but it does it. I think now might be the time we'll throw a battery charger on it, see if that battery kind of comes back to life, but I doubt it. And I think they're past their useful lifespan, aren't they? Let me get a charger on that and see what we get. So I got a battery charger hooked to the battery, and it's got one of those main kill switches in there. You see I got power going to it, but I got nothing going through the switch on the other side, no matter what I do. Switch feels kind of like it's full of rust too. So I think maybe for now what we'll do is just unbolt this lead, and maybe we'll bolt it right to the battery and pick up power off of that and bypass this for now. I'm not giving much hope for that battery that's on there, but the charger should at least put power to the system. You got power showing the neutral light, and crank was right here. Well, it's doing something. I'll let that charge for a little bit, but I know we're going to need to get to the carb, and unfortunately the carb is underneath the back of the dump bed. And we need to see if we can get that guy up. He wants to go down. Kind of going. I would think it would have a little bit more vim and vigor than that. And what's that? What that is made of is a convertible, like a late 60s. I think it was a Mustang convertible top cylinders. And the pump is underneath the seat, and that's what allows that to run. And we might as well see if the throttle. Nah, it feels like it's frozen. Yeah, that barrel's kind of seized up in there. So we say we get rid of some of these twigs, we try getting that off of there and pull the slide out of there and see if we can free it up. Yeah, let's see if that guy will come out of there. It's not a good sign if it doesn't want to turn easy. That's usually put on by hand. I have a different battery on another battery charger. We're going to see how that one kind of makes out. I have a feeling this one's done. Yeah. We're going to go spray that down with some kind of solvent and let that kind of sit a little bit, see if it'll free itself up. I sprayed it down. Let's see if we can kind of... I don't want to break the cable off, so I'm going to try run a screwdriver down the center of it. Just try to tap it down a little bit just to break the seal. There it goes. Yeah, you see the rust on it right there. That would definitely say water got into the carburetor, and we're going to have an issue with that. But I like to go and see if we can get it to crank first and then move forward. Keep walking into these though, they're sticking to my shirt. So I figure we'll go maybe make a nice bouquet for the wife. She says never get her anything. So this battery is flat. It's been on the battery charger for about 10 minutes, and we'll just kind of see if it, yeah, it looks like it might recover. So I'll leave this one cook for a little while, and we'll throw this one on there for power source. But we could throw a jumper pack on it and see if that'll do anything for our starter. See if we still crank. Just go over the hill once for me. Go pull a plug. Yeah, let's get that plug out of there. That was on there well. It's not even tight. Just see if it was compression that was stopping it, making it up over the hill, or do we have bigger issues to deal with? That looks really wet. Let's see what it does. Let's get out of harm's way though, in case it decides to shoot crap across the room. Oh yeah. That can't be good for it. I'm not sure if it's... I think it's gas. I don't think it's water. I am going to take some oil and put some oil down in there and spin it around a couple more times and let that kind of help clean up the top end. I'm going to try some this automatic transmission fluid. Let's let that go in there. Make sure it's still going. Yeah. Well, that work around, I'll kind of bump the starter a little bit and let it kind of... I think maybe we'll put the plug back in it. We'll clean that plug up and we'll see if this thing has spark. And let's see. Alright. Keys on. Oh yeah. Good. At least we don't have to chase that gremlin. And while we're here, this is a little premix for a 2-stroke. We're going to put it in a 4-stroke and let the oil part of it help clean up whatever cruddies are on it. Plug's clean too. Just get that guy to start. There we go. We'll put that on. Hopefully that jumper pack has enough snot to get it to kick over this time, and we'll just see if it'll run. Shall we? That's sounding very promising. Sounded like it popped back through the intake, didn't it? Sounds like compression's getting a little bit better as it runs. How about we try putting a little right down where the slide is. Looks like it's trying to push backwards, doesn't it? Like the intake's not sealing and it's kind of blowing out the carb. Took the seat off, gives a little bit better access. You can see the pump right here from the convertible. And we got better power to it now. Let's see how that kind of does. Alright. Looks like that's got some air in it. Have to run that through its paces a couple of times. There you go. Alright. Back to what we were working on. Let's go see if we can get that thing to run. I got a nice little fine brass wire wheel. I want to clean that slide up and see if we can get that guy back in. Go clean some of the crap that's on it. Off. Yeah, the needle looks pretty good. Leave that alone. I get the slide back in. Feels like it's working. Nothing. Got a choke on it. Not gonna do it. What do you say we got to check and see what it's got for compression, huh? Well, that's not too good. That's like 45. I think it's got a decompression valve in it, but I don't think it's activated automatically. I think it's one of the ones that you have to do that. Yeah. So I think we should probably look into the valve adjustment and see if we have one that's tight. Hopefully we do. That's going to kind of suck if it doesn't, right? Alright, we'll go check on that. I got tired of working on the floor, and we got her kind of half on the lift there. We got two straps strapping it to the front over there, holding it down. I got the plug out of it and the caps off for the valve adjustment, and we're going to try to get the top dead center and check the valve clearance. I have a feeling the intake valve is probably going to be tight, judging by the back puffing it was doing. I got a rod in there, brass rod, and I'm just going to kind of use the pull start. Try to find I think there's top dead center, but I think I'm 180 out because that valve is starting to move. One more time. Yeah, I think I went all the way around. There we go. I would call that top dead center. And I don't feel any movement in that valve whatsoever, which actually is a good sign, because that would indicate what our problem is. I'm trying to find a good angle to put you guys on. We'll crack that intake loose. And just, I'm not concerned about getting it on the money. I just want to open it up so there's some clearance, and I want to do a compression test again and see if we get an improvement on it. Is that enough to give us a little? Nope. We got a little ticky there now. The caps are off. Hope he doesn't shoot too much oil out, but let's give her a crank. See if our compression comes up. Yeah, a little better, but not great. It's above 50. It's like 55, 60, right around there. Yeah, let's give it another shot now that valve's open. A little bit of fuel. I want to get a decent battery in it to get the crank a little faster. Well, let's see if this does anything for us. I'm just trying to at least get a pop out of it, you know. Let's see if that does anything. Choke's off. Key's still on. Need better battery. So that right there is the sight glass to the crankcase. I gave it a quick look earlier just to make sure there was something in it, and it was. What I have a feeling may have happened is the needle seat might have got stuck in the carb. All the gas flowed past it, filled up the combustion chamber, and the combustion chamber kind of ran down and filled up the crankcase. I have a feeling that we may be kind of like almost hydro-locked on the bottom in there a little bit, and we're pushing kind of raw fuel up into it, and maybe it's flooding itself right out, because that should be right about halfway across. You should be able to see, and you can't see anything. We're gonna drain the oil out of it, and it needs to be done anyway, and we'll put some fresh stuff in it, and we'll see if that kind of helps alleviate it. The reason why I say that is because every time I get done popping the lower cap off of the valve, you can see how much stuff is kind of running out of that, and it really should not do that, not to that extent. Let's go work our way under there and see what lovelies come out of this, huh? Come on. Yeah, it's a nice color milk. Yeah, it doesn't look very good, does it? Looks like a nice mix between oil, gas, and water. Alright, it's a good idea we get rid of that before it ran anyway, huh? And I think I might like that a little bit better. Looks a little cleaner too. A 1040 instead of a 5. What's gasoline? gave a teaser. Alright, let's go give her a little bit of that. Let's see. Get a little cough out of her. I see life. What do you say we dump a little bit of fuel down the plug hole? Try it again. I know we're going to have to take that carb off and take it apart and do all that kind of stuff, but we'd like to just to make sure that we can kind of get her to fire. And find the hole. Plug's like 9 miles long. There we go. Shall we? Yeah, just run off the gas I put in it. I think we now need to tear it to that carburetor, see what we get. A little access to the back of that again. Well, I better not wait too long. The debris in the back is thawing out, and I have a feeling it's just going to do a one lump dump. Took a ride, and nothing but the best from my girl. Best $20 battery there is. Figure we'll throw that in there. It's going to need it anyway. We already know it's kind of coughing and parting a little bit. So get that in there, and I think we're going to get into taking the carb off and seeing what issues it has inside that. What do you think? Let's see how it does with the new battery in it. Listen to how fast it cranks. Yeah, so that's gonna be about max. I thought it might have been a little on the slow side, but it seems right. So I'm getting ready to disassemble that carb, taking everything off of it. And this is the intake. You can definitely see water got down inside there. It's usually a pretty well-sealed unit. There's a style at the top of it. It tapers down away from it. Unless there's a rust hole or something in it. No, I don't see anything. And it's got another vent down below, but then it just goes to heater hose and connections here. What I think happened is right there, it might be open somewhat and water was running down and run down the side of it, allowing it to go in. But it was left that way sealed. I didn't drill a hole in it because I wanted it so that you can go into water. You can go into water, you know, a good 38 inches or so, and it would stay running. But we have to look into that, and we want that to keep happening. I'm trying to get that carb off there, and that is the choke cable going to a plunger. But it's frozen. I tried shooting all the fluids in it and blowing air in it and all that kind of stuff. So now I'm going to try getting a little solder iron. I'm going to try applying some heat next to it. See if that will help me free that guy up. See if I can get the cylinder that's around it to kind of expand a little bit. Yeah, expand and let go of the barrel. I hooked a screwdriver under it and tried pulling up on it to the point where, you know, you're just about ready to break it. So I got an ultrasonic cleaner that the carburetor is going to go in, but I got to get it off. But where it is, worst case, I may try looping it over the side and put the ultrasonic cleaner on the bench. Leave the cable hooked up, let it soak in there, and possibly that will help free it up. Yeah, throw a little bit of heat on it, let's see what we get. I would probably stay here for about 2 or 3 minutes. But sorry, stay still. Yeah, it's looking too close. All right, let's see if that will help. Nah. And I'm gonna pop the bowl off while it's still stuck on the machine. See what kind of prizes we get. This always tells the story of its issues, the life it's led. And at least the screws came out. That's a good sign. You know it's bad when not too bad. Definitely needs a cleaning, but it's not like it's full of gibberish, you know. It does have water in it though. Water with no gas. I think all the gas pushed through the whole system. So you could tap that float out of there. One of the floats are pushed in. The other one's fine. This one's pushed in. I wonder if this one might have sunk. I'll float it in the cleaner. We'll see if it floats okay. Yeah, see if we get the main jet out. It's cruddy. Some of them are blocked completely off, some I could see through, but I think right up the main is also blocked. So definitely need to come apart. So I ended up putting it over by the four-wheeler because the choke's stuck in it. The fluid I'm trying right now is cleaning vinegar, and I don't have a review on it yet because I don't know how it's going to do, but we'll give that a shot. I'm trying a couple of different things and see what the best solution is. When I do, I'll let you know what I find anyway. And I just started heating it up, and watch your ears, but it's gonna be a little buzzy. I'm sure you're sick of that. Here's those jets. See the main and the idle jet, forget it. That guy's packed pretty solid. So I'm gonna go clean them up on the wire wheel, get some of the heavy crap off first, and then throw them in the parts cleaner. So I know there's a quarter of a tank still in it, but quarter tank of junk. So I'm gonna try backfeeding some air pressure through it, see if I can feed it through the fuel pump and get the flow going, see if it'll gravity feed itself out. Alright guys. See if it'll keep going though. And it might. That's gonna take a while. Alright, to just drained a bunch of gas out of the tank, getting ready to clean that out, put some fresh stuff in, and you can see that dark line right down below. That is water, and that's the separation of it. Now down there, water's heavier than gas. You can see where it all settled down. A couple of dots here and there too, but that'll all eventually run down there. Doesn't run on water too good. I think we'll do a recompression test because we got to run it a little bit, see how the stuff kind of settled in. That's pretty good. It's about 110, 115. A lot better than 40. It's got its own little onboard air compressor and a little tank on there. Doesn't do much, but it's good enough for, you know, that kind of thing. It'll blow up tires and run an air gun. So I figured I'd show how the front differential works. I have the original cable kind of going up to here, and right now it's from four-wheel drive with the diff lock. So it's locked to the drive shaft, and both tires are locked to want to go the same direction. Come back one click. That should put us in four-wheel drive, open differential. You see the tire on the other side is going the opposite direction. And then all the way out is neutral. Drive shaft doesn't want to turn, and it's open again. So it's nice. You can kind of select it whatever you want, anywhere from, you know, crawling real slow to you know, booting it pretty good, and you're starting to slip a little bit. You can pop it in just, you know, four-wheel with open. And same here, you have a 3-speed sub transmission. So you got 3 ranges: low, medium, and high range. And you can do the same thing. You just select with the cable what range you want to go put it in. And reverse is here. You go into neutral, and then you pull this, and I think you hit down on the lever, pops it into reverse. And then relocated the shifting controls there up here, and it's 5-speed, just like you would on a regular trans. Just has kind of extra linkage going back to the original setup. And the same thing with the rear brake, it's just got extended forward, so it's in the right location. Well, no matter how much I tried, I was not able to get that guy, the choke, that guy, out of there. And I tried everything and soaked it and heated it and tapped and pried, and finally the cable broke that was attached to it, the choke cable. It is stuck in there. So I ended up ordering a new carb and the new intake boot that goes to the cylinder head. But what says that we can't put this on now and just see what we get? That choke might be in the middle of its stroke somewhere, I don't know. But worst case, I'm figuring that we can kind of choke it by hand and get it to warm up and run. Once it's running, it should be able to do what it needs to do. But let's go find out. And a little something something showed up in the mail today. Got a new carb and a new intake boot. It is a Mikuni made in Japan. And the only thing I do see that is different about this that I didn't catch was there is no port coming out of it for the vacuum pulse for the fuel pump, which I think goes right here. So we might be able to drill that out, or possibly maybe we can modify the intake boot to have a port coming out of that and giving us that port. So I'm going to go take the other carburetor off, put them side by side, and we'll see what we got. There they are side by side, and they look fairly similar. Stuff is roughly all in the same locations. Idle speed, fuel inlet. The bowl on this one's got a better drain / jet access. You can actually change the jet, it looks like, in this one without taking the bowl off, which is kind of a neat fixture. Air fuel mix for the idle. Does this one have it on it? Yeah, it's on the other side right there. But the only one problem it is missing, like I said, is the pulse port that runs the fuel pump. The fuel pump's just gets a pulse coming from the intake side of things, and it moves the diaphragm inside the pump, and that in turn moves the fuel through, because the gas tank is about level with the carburetor, so it needs a little something to give it some help. The bore is a little larger there for the slide. That's the same. So I think our best bet is probably going to try to drill this guy out right here, and either get this one out and put it in there, or look for another carburetor I can go steal the little brass nipple off of, and we'll put it on the other one. I don't see anywhere else where, because it has to be on this side of it. Yeah, we're going with that. Let's see what I can do. I got the hole drilled. Let's see if we can get, this is the one from the other carb. Let's see if we can get that guy tapped in there. I'm sitting on the wrong side of this deal. I drilled it roughly on an angle like that, I think. Yeah, looks pretty good. Looks like I'm gonna get all the metal chips out of it. I'm gonna take that ball off and blow it out. It should be fine. So I'm gonna put it right there. So let's go slap that on there after I clean that bowl and see what we get. I said new carbs on there. I got a little bit of tickle fuel if we need it. I figure it's gonna take a little while. New fuel line on it, so it's gonna have to fill the fuel line, and hopefully the fuel pump does work. So we'll give her a crank, try to get it fired up, and if so, we'll let it warm up. Choke is now mechanical. It's under here. The levers down there no longer on the handlebars, but that should be okay. Let's see, you got no choke on right now. We'll see how it operates like that. I say we try to give it a little squirt, get it going, and once it gets going, it should prime itself. We'll see what that does for it. Flip on the choke. Good. There we go. I'm going to go pop the intake back on there so that it has a little bit of the correct drag, and we'll set up the air fuel mix, let her warm up. very end. First, see how far we get through it. That ain't gonna do it. There's mud in your eye. Now you're against the tree. Yeah, you want to try it.